Damon Ponder, the host. I'm the co-host, and Juan and Justin as well, our co-hosts. I don't know what we call that, but we're here tonight. We're gonna have
everybody's hosting.
We're all hosts. We're just hosts. We're all hosts. Yeah. So yeah, how's it going tonight, man, everybody?
It's all about bringing value at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Sorry, I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I've been busy, man. So I'm anxious to hear what everybody's got going on and see what kind of value we might be able to bring this week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was out I've been kind of out of the loop with you guys as well myself. Just got back.
Let's hear about
Tony Robbins.
Yeah, let's hear about it. Why don't we start there, bro?
Tony Robbins unleashed the power within, and then what I unleashed was a sickness over myself as well.
Oh, how are your feet feeling?
Well, oh my gosh, dude. So they literally called this thing they literally called this thing the Tony flu. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? They say that all of the dancing and all of the jumping up and down releases all this lactic acid into your body that many people will end up going home after the event and will end up literally getting sick from it. And I'm like, no, come on, dude. Sure enough, 14,000 people in attendance, okay? The third night, I was like, so exhausted. I wake up Sunday, which is the fourth day, and I'm sick, dude. And I'm like, I can't even go to the actual last day of this thing. I switch over to virtual. I'm watching from the hotel room. Then my wife and I head back on Monday, and I went to the doctor. I'm negative for COVID, negative for strep, negative for flu, but that doesn't mean I'm negative from feeling like crap. So I had to cancel a bunch of my calls that I had with so many Gators on Tuesday. I had to reschedule things. And anyways, dude, it's been nuts. But the event itself, guys, it's awesome. I mean, it definitely is what people talk about. You know, there's so many things that Tony just like enlightens you with, right? Opens your eyes to and makes you focus on, you know, certain aspects of you, of who you are, right? And limiting beliefs, right? The things that have kept you from growing to that next level, right? What are those things that you believe about yourself that are kind of keeping you back, you know, to really accomplish what you are ultimately made for? And so there was so much that I took from all of that. And I can't wait to like dive back into my journal. I got it right here next to me, but you know, I got a journal here full of notes and everything. And I can't wait to get into this thing. I just, you know, finally now starting to get, you know, feeling better, but definitely would recommend it to anybody out there that is feeling stuck, is feeling like they're in their own heads, right? That just feel like they need that extra, you know, motivation, that extra push. And then of course, you know, they have those things that, you know, you can continue on a journey with them, right? To help you to continue to grow, like other events like business mastery and life mastery and all of these different things that Tony does. But yeah, if you have never done a live event, it's definitely worth it. Just you got to be prepared to deal with the crowds, and that's, I think, one of the most like you know, frustrating things to deal with is the crowds is nuts, man. We went to go check in on Wednesday night, and literally we wrapped around the building almost, you know, a couple of times just trying to get registered for the event, like. It was nuts, man. But
so I'm hearing long lines, getting sick. It sounds like a great time. Anyone else want to go next year?
I know, right? I'm not doing a good job of selling this thing, bro.
I don't know if anybody like has Boris on their feed, man, but Boris was there.
Yeah,
man.
I saw that he was there.
And Boris kept posting like kind of funny joking memes, like he was in the crowd and people were yelling at him, and it was like Instagram, like, have I joined a cult? But yeah,
you know who was
having fun.
You know, yeah, dude, we had a blast. You know who was there? The Liver King.
Oh, that guy's nuts.
That guy is nuts. And Tony called on him. Man. That guy, or Tony called on him on a question that he had for the crowd, and he called on him. And I'm like, that dude looks familiar. I'm like, where have I seen that dude before? He's jacked as heck, right? I'm like, that's the Liver King. And sure enough, people started yelling, Liver King, and he starts like, trying to get the crowd all riled up.
Have you seen any interviews with that dude? Like he's all natural. Like he apparently smells like a dead, dying animal or something, like really, really bad smell, bro.
Yeah,
Or
but
it's
it
kind of
was-
like that smell when you go to Eugene, downtown. It's hippie,
No, but it was
deodorant, all.
it was discovered that he uses steroids. I mean, it's clear.
Mm.
Yeah, he came out and actually finally admitted,
Is this steroids? Come on.
Yeah.
he admitted that that he lied, right? And that he's totally, that he has done steroids, and because initially, dude, he just was like adamant about not ever doing it, that he was completely
natural.
and now he came up and tried to be
You
honest.
can't
Out there, he's just
you
out
can't
there
get that.
running and lifting
Yeah.
rocks and just whatever it takes, right?
Eating liver.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate him finally telling what everybody knew the whole time, right? Like,
Right?
Yeah, for real, dude.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. So
So like Joel and Brandon, you guys got any stuff going on lately? Like deals or anything like that? You've been working
first deal with Juan here last week, so thank you.
on? What? Juan's
Nice,
notorious
man.
for that, man.
My first
Juan's
deal.
notorious for stuff like that.
yeah,
Hell
dude, Brandon's a man,
Tell us
y'all.
all about it.
Let's see, it's a fix and flip in Texas. Looks to be a full gut. I came in for like 152 of the 192 lend, and we JV'd with another gentleman for the other 40K. They started construction this Monday. It's be going good. So 30% return. A little. I'll say this: it was nerve wracking for me. It's my first deal.
Well,
Just
you hooked
the
up with the
process,
right guy,
flow of
man.
things,
That's
just
awesome.
getting comfortable with that, doing my due diligence because I have a little experience from many moons ago. Prior to being in IT, I worked wholesale and retail lending, so I did some junior underwriting and some loan processing, and so it's just kind of getting back into that mindset, and then sometimes being a little overly critical of things, but
Nice.
getting the experience in, getting the feet wet, looking at a couple of other deals the last couple of days in between my W-2. So loving
Yeah,
it. Go
and
ahead.
I gotta say, man, I mean, honestly, like Brandon, for it being your first time, I was pretty impressed by the way that you handled the entire transaction, right? The things you were asking for, nothing was nothing was out of the ordinary, right? But the fact is that you had your things, how you wanted to do your due diligence, right? And how you wanted the deal to work out for you so you can feel comfortable, because ultimately that's the goal, right? The goal for a connector like myself, like Lance, is that, the PML feels comfortable with A, the borrower, B, the deal, and C, the process, right? And so that's my goal, right? My goal is to get you to that point, right? And if there's anything that you're not comfortable with during that process, how do we get you to that comfortable state? Oh, shoot, I sound like Tony Robbins. How do we get you to that comfortable state, state of mind? But ultimately, that was one thing I was really impressed with you is how you were handling that, and how you, basically said, look, these are the things that I need to feel comfortable. There were some things that, of course, the borrower said, hey, look, these are things that don't apply because of this reason or another reason. But again, it's all part of the learning process. You're understanding it, right? And so everybody's on the same page. And ultimately, the goal is to get you to that return closing, right? So,
Yep. No, it is just getting your feet wet, getting out there, taking action. The only way you're going to get comfortable is going through the process, taking the action, and doing it over and over again. And that's what I'm looking to do. Get as much experience I can under my belt, and then go out and help others continue.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's funny, man. 'Cause, like I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, and he was saying, like he started a comedy club down in Austin, right? And so he was talking about how he doesn't. I mean, he just did a $200 million deal with Spotify, and now it looks like he's about to do a $500 million deal on top of that with Spotify again. So, but yeah, he was saying like I don't I don't have to go down to the comedy club, right? I don't have to do that anymore. But he does it so that he can flex that muscle. And I think it's the same, right? For like investing, it's, you just got to keep flexing that muscle, right? Even just as an entrepreneur in general. Because I noticed that when people stop flexing that muscle, right, they start to kind of like recess back, and they get more apprehensive about going into the deal, and there's all these like reasons why you shouldn't, instead of looking for the reasons why you should.
I agree. I see myself second guessing the deals that I'm looking at. It's like, okay, well, I'm new to this. Do I wait for the payday, and do I risk putting more out there and getting more experience and more gain? And I see that mindset coming in. I got to step back and just look at it and analyze and do the due diligence and see the opportunity and go for it.
Well, sure. Yeah, and look, it's about taking calculated risks, right? So
correct.
I'm certainly not sitting here saying, throw all to the wind and, let's just invest in everything. No, don't do that. But yeah, definitely, calculated risk, you see what you're willing to do or not. And if the deal looks like it's a solid return, I stop looking for the reasons why I shouldn't, and I start looking for the reasons why I should, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's been cool, man, because I don't know about the other guys in the room. I know Lance was there on the first day, but we went to Sam Wiegert's, he's had that 5-day challenge for co-living, which I've done with some of my properties. I don't think I'm doing it in the way he is, which is cool to step in there. Because Lance, I think you made the comment, like his mentorship is 30 grand.
Yeah.
Not yet. I really had no intention of going into the mentorship, right?
Right.
I was more looking for the nuggets, right? Like I'm looking for the nuggets that he hands off from this thing to tell me about what I'm currently doing and how can I make it better, right?
Right.
I'm already failing forward in that space. He's not a rocket scientist, right? Like,
right.
He, much like anybody else, probably stepped into that space and failed forward. But I think some of the stuff that he's offered up about leasing to your company, and then making those folks members of the company.
Genius.
Genius, right?
Yeah.
And so man, I'm looking to convert like quite a few spaces over to that co-living model. And actually, me and Justin were talking about it today, man. So I loved it when he was on there looking at Zillow and how he goes about it. And I'm like, well, that's really all I need to know. How are you going out?
I know. Yeah.
And then I'll figure out the rest.
Well, we can partner up with one of his students and get access to all the documents that we need.
100%.
That's what I'm thinking. Because like you, we know about real estate. We can get the deals. We just need to figure out the little detailed parts of what he's doing.
Yeah. And funny enough, Effie's in there, right?
I know. I was talking to Effie too already, dude.
Yeah. Thinking ahead.
There's a couple other sub 2 students in there actually. He's a Gator. Our guy Ari that follows us, he might end up joining.
Oh, they're actually going to join his mentorship.
He might. He was really interested. Him and I have had several conversations about co-living. I'm actually going to pivot from midterm to co-living, dude, 100%, because it just makes a ton of sense.
I connected with Ari up there at the UPW event, dude.
Oh yeah, I definitely he was saying I wanted to go have dinner with you guys, but we ended up going to a Viking event instead. We went to the Renaissance Fair.
I saw that, dude. You guys went all
north
decked
of
out,
Damon
bro.
there. Dude, that was so fun, man. My wife's 40th was Saturday. She didn't really want to do anything. I wanted to have a party for her. She's like, nah. I really want to go to this Renaissance Fair. I was like, okay, let's go.
I feel like that's yours and Jesse's true calling.
Right?
You guys looked so good. Like you could have easily been from that era.
Yeah.
Totally, dude.
Thanks, man. It was so much fun. She's like, oh, let's get dressed up. I was like, let's go. Let's do this. If we're going to do it, let's do it.
Drinking mead and eating turkey legs all day long.
Yeah. Meat on a stick. I had the thickest, it was like a 3/4 inch thick piece of bacon on a stick. I was like, oh yeah, This is
Yeah.
great. Yeah, it was
Yeah, it's
crazy
funny.
though.
Well, I don't know where. I was wondering if the one that you were going to was close to the one that happens here in Houston, because
Yeah,
that's like
it's just
right up
like just
the road.
north, right? Just like
Yeah, that's what I was
30 or
wondering.
40 minutes outside of Houston, I think.
Okay, well then maybe you guys did actually. Man, you guys should have let me know you were in town, because I'm like,
Dude, I didn't even think of it, man.
I'm 20 minutes from that. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it's the biggest Renaissance fair, not only in Texas, not only in the country, but in the entire world. I found out.
Really.
Yes, it is massive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I went out there one time, and it's probably the veteran in me, but I went out there and I was like, man, I feel out of place. There's all these people running around in
Yeah,
Renaissance costumes.
a lot of dorks, a lot of D&D type folks, and total dorky.
But I was like, it's their
but-
thing,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna die. It's their thing, and it was pretty cool and all. But I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna hang out here. I'm probably not going back because the traffic and all that stuff, man. But yeah,
It was so
next
much
time
fun
you're
though.
in
Like,
town, let me know.
oh yeah, dude. I know. I need to. So that guy that we're talking to, he wanted to come onto the show. He's building. It's like a startup company, so it might be an opportunity for you guys there. I know it's not really what you're doing, but he's got this already like laid out. This company. He's got two models of the tiny home containers that are all fully decked out. All you gotta do is plug in the plumbing and the electric, man. And he's trying to sell 2 of them now, but he's down in like southern Houston or somewhere, something like that.
Are they the 40-foot containers?
Yeah, 40-foot containers. Yep. But they're pretty sweet. He sent me his website and everything, but he wanted to. I was like, dude, actually, he's all, can I get on your show? I was like, oh, actually, that would be awesome to come on the show and talk
And
about
I'd
something like that.
love to hear about it, because
Yeah.
that's, I mean, that whole thing, right, is becoming more and more prevalent. It all goes back, right, to the affordable housing thing. Whether it's co-living or tiny homes, people are looking for those affordable housing places, right?
Yeah,
And
I did
and
get
I think
some
as
info.
investors, it's the margins with us. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
like I'd love to have him on and talk to him. Are those things 2-bed, 1-bath, or 1-bed, 1-bath?
I don't know. I'll forward you guys the link that he sent, or his email. Actually, it's actually let me put it in the chat. I wrote it down here.
Well, yeah. So Brandon, just to finish off, man, like as you see, right, like that's probably all of us in the room as investors, constantly failing forward, constantly looking at deals, looking at businesses, and finding out, hey, is that something that I'm willing to take a chance on, man? But I'm glad that you got to come in on your first deal, and hopefully it'll be a winner. So who's running the construction crew on it? Is it you? Where is it? Austin?
It's was it Mimi Gerard from Hidalgo Properties? I think Juan's been doing several deals with her, connector on many of them. So
okay, so you guys are loaning on it, right?
yes,
it's a PML Gator deal.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Cool, man. Yeah,
Boy.
make a good little return on it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I joined Sub 2 and Gator at the same time, so I was getting because of my background, and just it was easier for me to get up and running in Gator as opposed to Sub 2 and start learning the wholesale side of the house. So
You brave man.
Yeah.
Joining both communities at the same time. I always tell people, don't do that.
I learned that after the fact. Hence,
that was a huge mistake. Yeah, I'm like, the number one mistake is joining both communities within like a few weeks.
Yeah,
big mistake.
You get
Too
overwhelmed.
much. Yeah,
You
that's why. Yeah, too much information.
What the hell should I focus on? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Whoops.
too many.
So
the guy's name
how
was-
long? How long until they finish it up, Juan? Is it 2 months, 3 months? Like, what's the build time?
Yeah, it's a 90-day project.
There you go. Cool, man.
So
Yeah, that'll be awesome, man. I'd love to continue to hear like how it goes. Like, keep us updated.
we'll do.
Yeah.
We're
That's
getting,
the guy's
So
website.
far, we got updates, pictures daily. They're making progress. So
Right on.
Yeah, we got a basically a kind of a status reporting WhatsApp channel, if you will. And so basically, both PML lenders are on there, as well as myself. So all of us are getting updates and knowing exactly what's going on with the project.
Mark.
Yeah, that's nice, man. That helps to set you at ease, right? Because like even if there's setbacks or whatever, you at least you know about them. You can get out in front of them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. And I love it that Justin, man, he's an avid reader. He's got beautiful bookcases.
Right.
Nice new background.
And he was trying to figure out where he wanted to be in the shot.
I was gonna
He
say.
extreme
No, my
close-up.
camera's
Yeah, it's
screwing
like
up on me.
some Halloween stuff
flashing.
going on. Like it's like flashing off and on. Like, whoa,
It
dude,
was looking
Halloween's
like
over.
Wayne's World there for a minute.
Right.
Garth is like, okay.
Dude, I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm looking at Justin's background going, okay, do I look at Justin as a kind of a doctor? Someone that's giving you some like really intelligent advice? I mean, I just like, that's what I'm getting, right? All those books behind him are just reinforcing his intelligence.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to ask a question about investing and he's going to be like, hold on just a minute. Let me grab my
Let me grab my book.
Yeah,
I
let
need
me
some
grab this.
references.
Yeah, let me get a reference for you.
Just trying to up my game and keep up with you guys. That's all.
This podcast is going to be well cited.
The shirt though is more. The shirt's more of a like city cowboy kind of a.
You
vibe,
know, I had to
doesn't-
dress it down for you guys. So
Well, but it's that on top and it's underwear on bottom because Justin doesn't have to go to work anymore, man.
that's right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Urban cowboy. Let's call it urban cowboy. No.
Right.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I feel like Justin, like if it was like the Joe Rogan podcast, he's got the Jamie, that does all the research on people. I feel like Justin's that guy. He's like,
If
just
you need any clip, pulled up, I got you.
Hey, Justin, can you pull up that clip from? That's funny.
Joel, man,
It
what's
doesn't
going
include
on?
vacuums.
Joel, is it Joel?
Joel,
It's
Just
Joel.
like Joel, like with one
Joel?
L.
I like Joel. That's cool though. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's up, bro? Joel's
How's it
famous,
going?
man. Joel's famous. He's the guy that picks everyone up and crushes their nuts. He's the nut
I had the
crusher.
opportunity.
I feel like
I still
I,
gotta
feel like
do
I don't know about this.
You
What
don't
do we
know
got
about it?
going on?
Juan does. Juan knows what I'm talking about. He picked Pace up one time and crushed his nuts. Joel lifted up,
I
picked him
gotcha.
up off the
I
ground
gotcha.
and like, pieced him up. Yeah.
I personally have not had the pleasure yet to meet Joel and his nut crushing process, but I appreciate you, Joel. You have a heart though, bro. Like that's awesome, man. You have a heart.
Yeah.
You show it.
Sometimes some nuts have to get crushed, man. You know.
That's life. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So what's going on, Joel? You've been doing deals,
So,
man?
I actually gotta get back at this, to be honest. Like this past month, or like not even a month, like 2-3 months, I have been a little bit like really like out of it. Like just in general, health wise, stress wise, and so like I really need to get back in there. So like I made too many excuses this time because of that. So like I think the best thing for me now is like networking and connecting with people. Like Lance is doing that exactly like what I could do.
Mhm.
So like my ideas are like finding the people, the buyers, finding wrap buyers from title companies, or finding like whatever, like any resource, like by connecting and making relationships. But like I kind of really need to understand how to execute it better. Like
Mhm.
I'm really stuck at executing. Like I have so many ideas, I'm just the worst at executing anything. Like that's where I'm
So
really stuck.
let's talk about that. What do you mean by executing? What is it that you're trying to execute?
Right now, like overthinking and action right now, but like I need to like how Lance is being like a connector, right? Like I kind of want to connect with more people, like to raise the capital for if they need, or if they need a buyer, get them a buyer, or like wrap buyers, or so like kind of balancing each other. How does paperwork?
You know how I started, bro? Like you're overthinking it. Wait, I can tell right off the bat you're overthinking the whole thing.
Extremely.
It's all you got to do is just help people. Just help them. If someone says, "Hey, man, I'm looking for this," find somebody that has this. You know, that's all I started doing. Damon's the one that was like, "Hey, man, you can monetize off what you're doing." I was like, "Really?" So, but before that, for the first few months, I was just helping people out and helping, just connecting people, man. Right? Juan can tell you, just helping people, man, making those connections, man. And you start learning, you get better at it, and you start seeing opportunities with doing that. Because
I think Lance will, I don't know, well, maybe he will, but Lance will probably second this, man, that I'm very big. Like, I kind of look at people sometimes and see what they're good at, right? And then I tell you, like, quiet out all the noise, right? Because I'm good at a lot of things too. Like, I'm an engineer on one side and investing, and I've done businesses, and I mean, like, I like to think I'm not a smart guy, but like, I've got some aptitude to pick things up. But a lot of times, man, I have to quiet the mechanism and release all of the noise, right? Because you can get kind of lost in all of the things that you want to do, because you're just looking at the opportunities and you're not looking at how you bring value, right? Because the opportunities come when you're bringing the value to the table. I mean, 100%, every single time, man. And I know that people don't, I get it. Like, when you get into this, it's like, I'm sure, like anyone, man, when you first start hearing Pace, like, what's the draw of Pace? Well, Pace bought $250 million worth of property last year, right? And probably slotted to buy 300 million this year. And everybody's like, man, I want to do that. I want to buy $250 million worth of property. But then when you talk to Pace and you find out, well, it wasn't always like that. It wasn't, for a long time, it wasn't always like that, right? And
gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, right? And I think
action step, daily action steps, man.
Yeah, I think you've got to find what you're good at, like Lance, right? He's really good at connecting and talking to people, and he's just, he's like anytime I've ever heard about Lance, like, meeting with people, he very rarely even talks about real estate, right? He's just shooting the shit, talking with people. What are you about? What is it that you do? Let's, and I think, if I'm not wrong, Lance, like, you're more worried about building the relationship, right? Like, that's valuable to you.
Yep.
And then it's, how do I bring value to that person, right? And I'm very much that way. I could care less about how much money you're worth. I don't give two shits about how much money you're worth, right? Because I have money too. I like, what good is that, right? And at the same time, right, I think of, like, when I was a homeless vet, I didn't have any money. People would look at me as a bum on the street, right? I had no money to give, and so money is not important, man. People are, and I know that you probably have a story, and you're really good at something, and you just have to figure out how you take that thing and you bring value to the other person. I'll get off my soapbox. So tell me what you're good at.
So what I think is connecting and networking people. Like, I love talking to people, like, always commenting on their stuff, or like, just want to build actual relationships. Like, I'm also the same way. Like, I don't like to work with people who are, like, not relationship oriented. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just, like, that's why I'm always active on Facebook, trying to make as many friends as possible. Even if it's not like I talk about business, but I just like actual friends. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're good at connecting, you're good at talking to people, but how do you bring value to the people that you talk to? So you're good at connecting, you're good at talking. Let's say you go and you talk to this person and you're building a relationship, and now you know a little bit about him. He kind of likes you, you kind of like him, but then how do you bring value to that person, right? Like, what are you good at? Are you good at connecting them on Gator deals? Are you good at connecting them with, people that can, like, are you good at, like, maybe what I'm asking is, are you good at connecting people with things that can get that thing done for them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like monetize this. I just in the beginning, I just did it for like, just for the relationship itself. So like, a lot of times I connect people to buyers, like other sub-2 students, or like some other people needed like someone to like help them close a deal or find a buyer or like actually wrap buyer. So then I
Okay.
connected them with another sub-2 student who did that, or like other sub-2 students who need like some like gator or some money.
Okay.
I mean, that's when I did for free, but like, I mean, like people who knew people who had money. So like
yeah.
other
Okay.
capital raisers.
So like, I don't know, maybe everybody else can help with this too, but to me, you're a connector and a problem solver.
Mm.
Mhm.
You're connecting to try to help people solve a problem. And now you need to go out and connect with people that have a problem,
Mhm.
right? They're trying to get a loan. You get them connected to Lance. They're trying to get a deal, sold to a buyer. You connect them to Juan, or like, but you're trying to find that person that will get that problem solved for them.
Gotcha.
I love
Yeah,
that,
dude.
man.
I love that actually. That's kind of like what I like to do. On that note, actually, like you can do like multiple things, right? It doesn't have to be like, let's say they have multiple problems. Like if they need a buyer or dispo, I can get them to the dispo. Same time, if they need another money person, I can do like multiple things, right? It doesn't
But
have to
here's
be
the
like
thing,
one.
I would not encourage that, because that's why you're not getting any traction. You stick with one or two things, like get really good, stay in one lane, man. I think everybody's had that issue. It's okay
Mhm.
if you've dialed in on whatever it is you're doing, but if you haven't gotten traction and haven't started figuring out one specific thing, it's not smart to move on to other things, because you're not going to get traction anywhere. You're just going to be spinning your
Mhm.
wheels,
Mhm.
especially when you're
Extremely.
starting off. Like Damon, can do it. I can do it. We can do it if you've got 6 to 8, 9 months in that field and you've been taking consistent action and get it dialed in, scale it, then move on to something else,
So let's say if you want to make something in 30 days, let's say, what do you guys will recommend?
Well, like for instance, let me just use a for instance here, because I love to like put things to like real life events, to help them make sense. Just last night, I'm on my way to the gym, and I got this guy. We were just talking about him, Zach, that calls me and says, "Man, I've got this deal. It's this, it's that. I'm wanting to wholesale and this." And I said, man, honestly, I can do that. I know how to do that, but number one, the money wasn't right for me to be involved in it, because I'm not a wholesaler. I don't have those systems and processes to make it worth my time, right? To where I can move that thing, quickly across the finish line. So what was the very first thing that I did? I didn't even mess around with like, hey, I'm going to try to help you to get this thing done. I know the perfect person. You can talk to. I picked up my phone. I called Juan, because Juan lives in that space, right? He's got all the systems and processes. He's got all of that, right? And he knows more. He's forgotten more about wholesaling than I'll probably ever know, right? And he creates these deals every day, and this is what he does, and he finds buyers, right? And so I didn't even waste this guy's time. I didn't ask for any money, no, nothing, right? I just want him to find help, and then I connect him with Juan. And my hope, right, is that it brings value to him, it brings value to Juan, and then maybe somewhere down the road, maybe it'll bring something back to me, right? I don't know, maybe not. But at the end of the day, hopefully I was able to help him in a real and positive way, right? And so I think if you look at what you're doing, if you look at it that way, right? Don't focus on like, oh, I can get the dispo done, and I can get to this, and I can get to that, right? Much like Lance, Lance is concentrating in that gator lending area, and he's connecting people very specifically in that area. And I remember when Lance wasn't monetizing it, right? To when it went to when Lance was monetizing, and now Lance is monetizing the hell out of it. Good for him, right? But the point was, I think somebody from outside of that had to maybe see a little bit of that in Lance, and then the light bulb went off. And then I think Lance honed in on how he, does it. So maybe for you, Joel, us indicating that to you might get you honed in a little bit. We're trying to streamline you, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
you need to pump the brakes, man. Right off the bat, you're like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. Oh, you're like, holy crap, bro. Slow it down, dude. Take it down a few notches. You said you were connecting people, like focus on doing that, man. If you were going to bring a deal to me that needed to be funded, I was able to get it to the finish line, I would give you a referral fee, bro. You know what I mean? And if you start learning how to analyze and underwriting those, and you could help me like figure out if it's a good deal, then you would be worth more. I would like split that, like commissions with you and stuff. So that's kind of what a couple steps you can take. I always offer like a referral fee. If you're just like, hey, I found this deal and you've done no work on it, you know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, here's a referral fee. But I'm always open to do that. And then, back up. My dog's trying to get.
Well, it's just like McDonald's, man. I don't think there's a manager at McDonald's that didn't start on the fries, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Everybody started on the fries, man. I mean, like, hopefully that helps, Joel. I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm just trying to help you maybe find that path,
I know Pace was talking some shit to you, dude, a few months ago. He's like, Joel, if you don't take action, I'm kicking you out. I was like, whoa,
yeah, he's
dude.
Like,
I saw that Zoom.
He's like, you gotta talk to 5 people a day. Anybody, I think he said. It's not just like like specific, but he was like, just 5 people. Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, dang, dude, you made your 5 today. You're in a room with 5 people.
Right?
Yeah, I think what I would add, Joel, is a couple of things. First, I would like to know, a little bit about you. Do you have a W-2 or are you doing this full time?
Full time, right? So like, I don't know W-2 at the moment. Like,
okay, cool.
Out of high school, out of school, right? So
okay,
my parents.
All right, cool.
But they're getting on to me. So like, I have to do something ASAP because everyone's on my ass right now. Take a fire.
So okay, so cool. So now you're doing this full time. We know that there's no W-2, so there's no reason why a W-2 is taking you away from really working this hard, right? So now, what I would also I would point 2 things to you right now that I think would be very beneficial. One is KPIs, right? Tracking your key performance indicators. What does that mean? Okay, well, what it means is that now you got to say to yourself, I'm going to connect with 3 gators, 2 gators, whatever it is, whatever your number is, daily for the next 30 days, right? So now you're going to ensure that you're jumping on, not on a phone call, you're going to jump on a Zoom with these people so you can meet them virtually and they can meet you virtually, right?
Yep.
And basically you interview them as they interview you, find out what are their needs, find out what are their goals, right? And then you're going to start seeing a lot of this by you documenting all of this information down, that all of a sudden you're going to have things that come up that you're going to say, oh, wow, this is great. I'm going to match them up with this person and that person because I know what their needs are, right? So that's number one. I would work on KPI. But here's the mother of it all. It's the law of momentum, right?
Gotcha.
The law of momentum. If you keep stopping and starting, it's gonna be even harder for you to break through, right? The law of momentum states that you got to stay consistent. So every single day, whether you're not feeling it, whether you're tired, whether you got other things that you need to do, those 2 calls are non-negotiables, right? You're gonna make them. So that's what I would tell you right now, man. I would focus on those 2 things. And I think if you do, in 30 days from now, man, I'd love for you to jump on this Zoom with us, on this YouTube channel with us, and tell us how it's been for the past 30 days, dude. I guarantee you, you're gonna have some like momentum going, and you're gonna have some deals coming out of it for sure.
Do it.
You're right, actually, because like last July, I was not, I did it for a bit, like calling agents, and I did get some momentum from it, some action, but I stopped. Like it didn't. I stopped in the middle, so like it didn't move anywhere because
Do you
I
have
stopped.
anyone that could be your battle buddy? You need a battle
Maybe.
buddy, bro.
Man, I'm about to get
I think
real
I
with
need
Joe,
that.
man. I'm about to get real. You ready, Joe?
Get it. Lay it down.
I'm a lot like Pace in that way.
Lay it down.
One of the things that I've heard you say repetitively is I started this thing and then it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I started this thing and then it didn't work out. One of the hardest parts about being successful at anything is starting that thing and seeing it through no matter what.
Stick with it.
Right? I mean, high school, right? High school was hard. Stick with it. You get through it. Now you're in college. College is hard. Stick with it. You get through it. Now you got through it. Now your master's degree, right? I've been doing this stuff for a long time now, man. Just being an entrepreneur or being, like in the business world in general, right? And man, it has terribly difficult days sometimes. I mean, any one of these guys in this room will tell you, like, we have all individually had days where it's like, guys, I'm not feeling it today. And man, I just, I'm gonna check out for today, right? But one of the things about the guys in this group is that they're back the next day. Never once have I heard a guy in this group say, man, that thing was rough and I gave up on it. I'm gonna get real with you, man. If you were calling and you were getting traction with agents, why did you give up? Why did you stop?
I should have made a lot of offers, but I was like really overthinking the offer and follow up.
Okay, but I'm not asking you all of that. Why did you give up? Why did you give up?
I think it was more like I was feeling like extremely overwhelmed, or like health-wise as well, because I was struggling with some like lack of sleep and a lot of other issues like on that.
Okay, I'm gonna get real with you again. A lot of the guys in this room know my story, right? I'm a veteran. I'm a disabled vet. I got injured in Iraq and I was medically retired. I sleep maybe 4.5 hours a day. Every day of my life, I'm tired. And I still get up and I still do it again, day after day after day. What you're not going to want to hear, Joel, what you're not going to want to hear, but I'm going to tell you, you got to stop making excuses for why you're giving up. And you need to start realizing that you're getting into this thing, and then when it gets hard, you stop doing it, right? Listen, man, it's gonna get hard.
Yeah.
This road is not easy. Lance, when he first came in, it was not easy for him. It's same for Juan, same for me, same for Justin, and anyone else that's ever been successful in their life. One of the things I'm gonna tell you, you need to get honed in, like Lance is telling you, right? You need to get deadly accurate, more of a sniper, right, than a shotgun. And then when you do, when it gets hard and your mind wants you to give up, that's when you lean in. Good.
Gotcha.
One of my favorite guys in the world is Jocko Willink. Have you ever heard of Jocko Willink?
No.
Yeah, he's a pretty famous Navy SEAL, and he was a command, like he was a command officer while I was in Iraq over the SEAL units that were doing overwatch for us when we were in Ramadi, right? And I never knew that until later on down the road, but and cool enough, I ended up getting a chance to go out to San Diego and do jiu-jitsu with Jocko Willink and get smashed by him, man. And he's a fantastic guy. One of the things that I love about Jocko is he is the guy in person that he is online. And one of his famous sayings is one of these videos online where he says, good. I've got these guys in my command and they're coming to me and they're telling me about the problems that they have and the reasons why they can't get it done. And then I look at them and I say, good.
Mm-hmm.
Be glad that you have that problem. Be glad that you have that problem, because it's fire. It's the fuel that adds to the fire, right? It will motivate you to get to the next thing. Good. I've got this problem. It's hard. I'm going to lean in. I'm going to focus harder. I'm going to connect with the people that are going to get me to the next place, right? And then you'll start hearing Pace come into the back of your mind when he says, go out and create a problem and then fix it. You got to create the problem and you got to figure out how to fix it. And I'm not going to sit here and preach to you like I'm perfect, because I'm not. But I am one of those people that, hey, I've got this hard thing going on today. Good. Thank goodness. Thank goodness I've got that hard thing to lean into today.
That's good. Good advice.
So, man, I'm going to issue this to you. You go out and you start connecting with people and you find this thing to get laser focused on. You've got Lance. He's willing to help you. He's already just said, I will give you a finder's fee if you go out and you find this thing for me, right? Go out and find that thing, man. Focus on it, hone in, and build on that skill. And I think that you'll find yourself to be very successful at the end of that.
Yes.
Same
That's
here.
great.
All right, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, I want to add on a little something to that. One of my favorite sayings is that as entrepreneurs, we do what we don't want to do when we don't want to do it. That's what separates us from the weaklings and people who quit. We just do it anyways. We don't feel like doing it a lot of the time, but we do it because we know we have to. There's nobody there punching in a clock card for us. We got to wake up every day and be self-motivated, self-driven, and just get it done, every day. That's just, I mean, you have to learn that, I don't know. I was a blue collar worker for a good part of my life. Even when I owned my business, I was still self-employed for most of those years. I was doing a lot of the work myself. It wasn't until I shifted my mindset that I started hiring help and scaling that business. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's not easy, right? Like one of my favorite quotes that I hear all the time is that it's simple, but it's not easy, right? Because everything's laid out for you, right? You could talk to me, any of these guys in here. We can tell you how to do the thing, but you have to take the action and make it happen, man. So.
Yeah, I famously had someone not too long ago tell me, we were talking, well, the lifestyle that you live, you don't know how hard it is for people. You don't know how hard it is for. Oh yeah, I don't. Oh yeah,
boy.
I found that to be and I didn't even get mad, right? Because I found it to be interesting. It was like, how narrow-minded of you to believe that just because somebody that has become successful at this thing, whatever it is, doesn't know what it was like to be unsuccessful and lean in and rise and grind every day, right? Nobody ever asked me about all those concrete pads that I busted out in the 10-degree weather in the summers here in Texas, because that was the only thing that I could do, right? Get a jackhammer and bust concrete, load it on a trailer, take it to the concrete yard, bring the trailer back, and start loading it into the wheelbarrow again. And I got paid for those jobs, right? Until I could afford enough to buy the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, right? So anyways, man, I'm off my soapbox, Joel, but I believe in you, brother. I believe in you. I know that you do this. You're a smart guy, right? I want to see you be successful, as I think all of these guys do, right?
Yep. Justin,
yeah, I just wanted to say, like, Joel, it seems to me that you're sort of the visionary, the connector. Lance is that, and he has his wonderful wife Jessie, who's the integrator on his side, and that's a huge reason why their business has really taken off. Because and you know, I'm a bit of that sort of visionary, but I'm also, you know, I have a lot of different skills, but I can see that you get started and then you get distracted by something, right? And there's people out there that are really good at starting projects but are really bad at finishing projects. And what you need to go out there and find is, what's that?
No, my dad says the same thing about me. He's like, he gets angry because I don't have focus on things.
Right. You know, don't get the shiny object syndrome, one, and two, find someone that's gonna take your visions and implement. You know, Damon's both a visionary and an integrator. I feel like he grinds until something's done, right? And that's, I think, why we the four of us really work well together, because we're you know, we have different skill sets. And don't go out and do this alone. You know, everyone feels like real estate is such a especially the single family world, you know, it's such a me against them mentality, but team up with people
a man on an island.
Yeah, exactly. Team up with people. Lean on those experts, you know. I know that you're in, I've seen you in Vina's group, and you know, you're interested in multifamily. Take some of those lessons of multifamily in the team sport that is, right? Because it's so much easier to do deals and get things done and lean on people's experience.
Well, the one thing that I have learned about Joel tonight, he's interested in Gator, he's interested in single family, he's interested in multifamily, he is interested in all of the above.
Raising capital.
Yeah.
Dial it in, bro. Dial it in.
Yeah, I love you,
dial
man.
it in
I'm
for sure.
with you, man. But yeah, like they're all right. Yeah, like
Yeah.
look, man, you've got a room full of guys in here that you can lean into. We will all help you. Trust me when I tell you, I will always remember what it was like to be at the beginning and not where I am now, right? And I'm certainly not at the end, right? I'm not at the end, but when I was at the beginning, it felt like I was all alone, all by myself. I had no idea what I was gonna do, man. And man, I wish I wish that I would have known about Pace and all of these guys.
Houston.
Back
I have an idea though. Here's what's going on. Joel, you said you live with your folks still?
Yeah.
You need to get the hell out of there, bro. You're too comfortable. That's why you're not doing it, man. You're too comfortable. Get out on your own. Get a shitty job at 7-Eleven, dude. That'll push you. Get out in the real world, dude. I mean, seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always told guys, if you want the road to wealth, go get a construction job. Go get a blue collar construction job and start swinging a hammer for a little while.
Yeah,
and you'll
dude.
be like,
pick
man,
up a shovel.
Can't wait to go do this other thing.
Start digging trenches. Yeah. Oh, trust me. Yeah. Nothing more motivating than that.
You'll get 5 trenches in before you're cussing it like, oh man, I'm gonna go do this other thing. I can't wait until I get out of here. Yeah.
Oh, Jill, when I was your age, I was carrying buckets full of concrete up like 4 or 5 flights of stairs in these condominiums down in LA, dude. I hated it, dude. Hated it, but I did it. Yeah. I did it. Man, it
so what made you choose starting your own construction, man? Like from that period? Like,
how did I?
Yeah, like you started your own construction company, right? Like
yeah, granite and tile business.
Mm-hmm.
But because me and my stepdad were clashing. Yeah, he wouldn't listen to it. I dropped out of high school and I was like, he's like, get in the work truck or get back in school. I was like, I hate school, man. I'll go to work. I started working full time when I was like 15, 16 years old.
That's the same thing with the college thing right now. Like that, exactly the same thing. So
yeah,
I gotta get to.
Joel,
guys, I gotta go though. I'm gonna hop off. I'm going to Sam Wiegert's. I've been on every night actually, Justin. I didn't see you last night, buddy.
I know. I had to
were
go.
You?
I had to do. I had family.
I need to get over to Sam's as well, man. But
all right,
hey,
guys.
Joel, come next week, man.
Yes.
And keep at it. Stay in here and keep coming, man. And we will help you. Trust me. And
Alrighty,
as we
chop you.
always do, I always end it when a great podcast tonight. It's funny. It's funny how it goes, man. It always ends up being a great podcast when we're like got the least amount of people in the room, right? So anyway,
It's good.
that being said, man, look, I
You're
really
welcome out.
appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everybody that comes in and gives us our time. It's the most important thing that you have. And we love to pour back into this community and try to do what we can for investors. So we love y'all. We're headed off to Sam Wiegert's and we're going to find out a little bit more about co-living. All right,
Excited.
guys. Talk
See
to
you
everybody.
guys.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Good luck,
bye.
Joel.
See you.